when did these limitations occur? It was when I was in kindergarten and everybody got 1 graham cracker, which was could have been broken in fours because they had the perforated lines as they still do, and it got broken in half one time. And you couldn't touch it until everybody was served and had their milk on their little napkin. Do not ask for more because everybody got the same. And here we are grown. And what a liberation to receive the sight or sound or taste or experience of something. And now you're telling me I'm supposed to ask for more? It's like I really have to allow myself to meditate on that, to put it in my auto suggestion uh, practices. You're made to want more. You're really made to want more. But all the time, I've been told you you get what you get what you get. If you're lucky, you'll get the same fair share. And even at work, you give your heart out. You like in it, you making it happen. More, please. Don't you dare ask for a raise. You get what's given to you at the appointed time. And then I remember my first raise at this big corporation. Matter of fact, it was the bank. And I was like, oh, I've been there a year. I've been a good worker. I've learned so many different aspects of the job. I enjoyed doing it. I had pride in my work. And then I got my review. Everything was good. It was like, yes, I'm just waiting for the bottom line. And the bottom line was 1.5% raise. I was like, couldn't even see it on a paycheck. Mm. And to ask for more would jeopardize me to be highlighted, to be fired, because I'd be a troublemaker, wanting more than my share. Mm. What a joke of reality. And I was supposed to come to work every day thereafter for another year and be a happy camper with pride in my work. So we go from more, please, to yes, and yes, more. I create more. I aspire more. I pollinate more.
Choose more.
Choose, yes.
Good morning, Greg.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Craig.
Morning, Craig. Good morning, Craig.
Hello, Craig.
Annette, I was feeling your energy this morning. I knew you were going to be here. Right on.
Yeah, I had a little bit of time this morning. I had done a meditation before I came on, and a few minutes before I get going. It's nice to see everybody.
Nice to be with you.
Oh, and happy year of the dragon to everyone.
Chinese New Year.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's a wooden dragon this year.
Yeah. And Aquarius energy is going crazy this month. First with the Sun and Pluto that actually happened about 20th, 21st of January. So they actually entered Aquarius together that day, and then followed on the 5th by Mercury, and then on the 8th by the Moon, and coming up this week, I think. Just look at this quick. Yeah, followed by Mars on the 13th, and Venus on the 16th, and yeah, so crazy energy. And of course, those last four I mentioned were all aligned with Pluto at the same time. So it's insane. I mean, this is a real harbinger of what's coming. The age of Aquarius, gentlemen and ladies.
So what feeling do you want to feel more of?
Mm.
Joy.
Thank you.
In fact, I want to stop being afraid to feel joy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Greg.
Yeah, if you follow Brene Brown at all, joy is a very interesting feeling. And she talks about what she calls foreboding joy. It's like she'd been looking forward to being interviewed by Oprah for a long, long time. And she remembered getting on the plane to go to this interview. And joy was popping up for her. But then she thought, oh man, the plane's going to crash or some disaster is going to happen and rob me of my joy. That's her definition of foreboding joy. So there's kind of an idea that I don't know why. I don't know if it's because joy is that intense or because it seems so elusive, but there's some reason or other where we think we can't have it. And that's pretty common for a lot of human beings.
Mona, good morning.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you today?
Morning, Mona.
Welcome, Mona.
Welcome.
Good morning, Mona.
Morning, everybody.
Hello, Mona.
Morning, Mona.
We have a full house this morning.
I want to feel fulfillment.
Hmm.
Mona, we were asked, what is the feeling you want to feel today? Well, not today. I don't think you put today on it. What is the feeling you want to feel?
Feel more of. We have joy, fulfillment, and Cinderella, that question came from your story.
Mm.
The more, we can have, we can ask for, we can become more. And so I thought, well, we could feel more. And just noticing my stories running in my head this morning. Why, I don't know. Why they're trying to bring doubt in, why they're trying to bring resentments in, why they're trying to bring in a divide, a separation, a pull apart. And all I wanted more is connected, connecting, connect, connection. All the reasons, wondering why this, why that, why not, why here. And at the root of it was just a connection that I matter. A connection that they matter. And why didn't I make the moves that I wanted someone else to make? Why do I have to wait for someone else to give me more? Why can't I take it? Why don't I make it? Why don't I choose it?
So my immediate response was also joy. And then as everybody was contributing, what came up for me as well was vitality. And we can choose it. Because it comes in different levels. Or on different levels, perhaps. And vitality of the heart is, it's like the first match that you can light. And you can have a perfectly built fire, but if you don't light that match, the fire never gets to burn. I was listening to a talk once where it was pointed out that we all go for the light and for the warmth. And we conveniently forget that something has to burn to get that light and that warmth. And it was just the point of it, bringing that up was again to realize the value of contrast. And that if it wasn't there, we wouldn't be here.
I took my obvious step and reached out and made a connection. Made space for the connection. It's just one intersection. And be open to more.
The word connection always brings up the Tibetan term of loving kindness. It's so gentle and wide.
Yeah, I could make up all sorts of other stories that just aren't true.
Mm-hmm.
cascading doubt, worry, negativity. Just in a simple, just a simple example. What is it that I'm really needing, that I'm looking for someone else to give? What do I need more of? And it's, at first, we may think it's something, some action, some giving, some thing. Because when we have that thing, we'll use the example of the raise, like Cinderell's. When she get that raise, then I'll be whatever the feeling is, fill it in. We forget that we can create the feeling ourselves. That we can see the world through that feeling. That we can bring in what we want through that feeling. Because we'll be looking for it, we'll be creating it, we'll be choosing it, we'll be aligning to it. Now, that's a new way of seeing life for me. So all the proof I have is just in the contrast. And one is a never-ending loop, unresolvable loop that is just never enough. And the other one is just going for what I want through the feeling. Focusing on that feeling rather than all the things that it isn't. Or why it isn't, or what more do I need or want, or what do I need someone else to do, to give, to create, to produce? Why I can't, why I'm not. Just that I can choose as we circle all the way back around to, well, what do we choose? It is ours, it is up to us.
And to remember that we've got the power to do that. I certainly have forgotten that very often in my life.
Yeah. It hasn't been demonstrated, shown. It's not the structure. It is the structure of reality. It just is not the structure of our society.
So when you said that's not our society structure, it triggered something for me to get to. I think I told you guys my mind's been in a lot of places. I may have mentioned that I have a niece who's no longer in this realm of the earth. She died tragically. And I'm like, this nagging, unquestionable question is like, where was her head at? And where was her head at? Her thoughts such that she would be so vulnerable to that which caused her demise. What is that thing? And that thing's been nagging me for like years, because the question it's come to me too. It's like, as I was growing and all of a sudden my life took a turn, and we'll call it reality for lack of a better term, where things just wasn't optimally optimistic and just going great, like the great evolution, the joy of building up, of growing up, of blooming, right? what what do we you said, the structure, what are we not doing for our younger generations that we missed or didn't have? And even with that thing defined, how can we nurture it and interject it so that it takes root and really have the opportunity to thrive through the travails and the transitions of life? How can, if all of this other stuff is what it is, to cultivate the negativity, the unhealthy structures, I believe that I have not gone through what I have gone through for nothing. And so I'm trying to, I'm like sitting with this invitation to know that essential whatness of what could have upheld, what could have been focused on, what could have been nurtured. How could I have avoided so much blindfolding? And since I didn't, and I have these results, which we won't call perfect, but I'm alive, right? How can I give that nurturing and to an embodiment of hearts and minds, that they will have more opportunity to be nurtured in the love, the self-love, the creative love, the being the co-authors of their life love. And though we can't all be protected from, the ups and downs of life, but certainly some things some things could afford other kind of choices, the exposure of choices. It's and I could give it a whole lot of names and words and stories, but it's like a little itch in the middle of my back. I just I feel like there's something that I just can't quite get to, so I can anchor in on it and embellish it more. Focus on that, what focus grows. So focus on what is more beneficial instead of what is saying, oh, that's a shame, and oh, this and that, and, that's life. No, we've created this. So how can I intentionally implant the nurturing, the focus?
Well, my answer would be my experience, my contrast, which is the only one that I know.
Mm.
In what we've been speaking about today. It's something, someone other than ourselves can give us what we want.
Mm.
Meaning that's what we think. That's how we view the world. And I'll speak, that's how I viewed the world. Appeared to me that there was still something missing, even though was going for doing everything that everyone said I should do. And there's still a gap. There's still a hole. There's still something scratching, still some void. Now, is it filled? No. But when I can choose the feeling, when I can identify the feeling, and when I can remember I can give it to myself, I can create it. All the other stuff can drop away.
Mm.
Things are a lot like my dad said. He would have loved to give me all his experiences, but they would have been worth nothing without the stories to go behind them.
Mm.
We have to experience life for ourselves. Unfortunately, because some people take advantage of that and spellbind people by what they write, what they say, how they act, or whatever, and make people follow them. Even like some cults drink poison because the leader told them to.
Mm. Sindral, I felt your pain about the loss of her so much when you spoke of her now again. And that your intent of wanting to make sure that it doesn't happen, it doesn't continue to happen more in the world. And what came to me was that the more we close the gap in ourselves, as Jesse was saying, the more that vibration that we emanate impacts on those around us. And people that want and choose to live life from that platform will gravitate towards one. And for, I mean, it sounds so glib, but the way that I came to conceptualize a story in my experience of loss was that we don't just have this lifetime. We have a cycle of lives that we live. And we don't manage to get everything done in one lifetime. But what also came to me again was how important your words are. They strike everybody in this group, and I think everybody here recognizes beauty and love. And that's why I've said to you, I really want you to publish your writing. Because so many people gain through it, right?
Thank you, Allison. I can often speak it, but when I go to write it or even record it, it doesn't.
Well, thank goodness Jesse's got a lot of it recorded. So there is that, and something can be done with that.
Mm.
Loss makes us aware of our yearnings and our longings and our desires. And that's why I love that phrase, that our desires are life's longing for itself. That comes from our yoga teacher, meditation teacher.
Mm. Can you say it again?
Yeah. Our desires or life's longing for itself. And the reason that I got that was because of a deep, 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 deep sense of loss that I had. It wasn't in my personal circle, but it had impacted me. And I asked him about it because I didn't know what to do. And I think I felt very similar. I can't really put words to it, but a very similar. It's like I said to you, that I could really feel your a part, not all of it, of course, but I could feel a part of your pain. And the desire to do something to understand it, understand why and how does this happen, and so that I can make sure that it doesn't happen to other people. That was your pain. That's what I heard in your pain. Sorry. And in my pain, I really didn't know what to do, and I knew that it was related to my work, and I knew that if I pushed my client too soon to awareness of things,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that they would not be able to, their body would not be able to contain it.
Mm-hmm.
And the focus of the therapy was really around awareness of behaviors that are very destructive and, so the veil of defense was still there, and I saw it, and my client saw it, but he brought it up with an enormous amount of ambivalence. And in that ambivalence, I had a choice. Do I go for it or do I hang back? And I hung back, which I'm glad I did. But then I wanted to know, if he brought it up again, what do I do with this? And that was my question to my teacher was, how do you recognize in therapy when you're dealing with the personality or the soul, and how do you acknowledge the soul and bring awareness to the personality?
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what his answer to me was? His answer was, when you can do that for yourself. And I was very far from being able to do that.
Wow. So many thoughts. When you can do it for yourself, because you're actually helping them to facilitate it, to do it for themselves.
Yes.
Once you can do that for yourself. Oh, you said so much there, Allison.
I've been given so much in my life, and it's still taken me. I'm turning 65 this year. So proud of the fact that I'm going to turn 65. It's taken me a very long time.
Mhm.
And I certainly am not, I'm not there yet, but I'm a hell of a lot further than what I was. So I celebrate that.
Yes. Well, I am 65 and I celebrate that.
Mhm.
And my mind goes back to the screen of all of these very mature, some fully gray haired, some, you can see the experience of the years that, that people have lived on their faces. And not that even they looked old, but you could that yearning, that apex of time where they've gotten to where they're yearning to understand, be more, have more. Yes, and there's more to life, even with all of the ups and downs, the rigor, the celebrations, the disappointments, the appreciation and gratitude that life still is. And everybody's really seeking a way to be able to do this, to do it for themselves so they can. And all of these people, I mean, I can't tell you one expression of them. Everybody's doing it to be better, to give more, to be better, to emulate better. Craig, I feel your spirit somewhere. Where are you? Where are you? It's like living, it's like busting the bubble or the glass ceiling and coming back to just stand as the light in places of darkness so people can hopefully become more aware at earlier stages, to at least know that there's choices. There's this, instead of having, looking around and not even seeing a door to go through, being a light to show that there's a choice of doors to go through.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, and that comes through the experience of stamping through a lot of darkness.
Mm.
Like for some reason that I don't really understand. That's seems to have been a life theme for me to to keep pushing the edge between life and death, between light and darkness. And kind of living on both sides. And living to tell the tale, so to speak.
That's where light have its purpose. There isn't much purpose for light during the day. It's during the night it's needed.
Yeah.
That's why I guess all of us have probably traveled a bit more darkness than most people do, because we know that we are actually bringing something to the table, light. So we travel where there is darkness, where we actually shine more.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, after you travel into the darkness and explore it deeply, you realize that there's actually light there.
I loved your analogy, Heinz. It was brilliant.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's like yin and yang. In black there's white, in white there's black.
Mm-hmm. And everything that there is in light and everything that there is in the dark is way beyond what I can conceptualize.
yeah, and that all of it has value.
Mm-hmm. No, in saying that, if I have to be truthful, then that client's life and his daughter's life were a stepping stone for me. And there's so much pain in both of their lives that it feels, I don't even have a word for it, but it feels wrong that should be a stepping stone for me or for anybody. But that is how it works. And that's why I love that Tibetan teaching of that every single soul has a purpose. It serves a purpose for what it does. And that's very hard to, it's, I mean, for me, I can't stay there for very long. You know, if I, every morning that I wake up, over the last few years, I wake up so grateful for the quiet and the birds. And I know that I could be waking up with a bomb going off close to me. And I don't. And for me, growing up, that was a source of enormous guilt. I didn't live in a township. In South Africa, the townships are where Black people lived. White people didn't live in townships. These things they run wide. They're broad. And you only get to that breadth by starting with one point. Like any structure, you have to start with one point. And then you add the second. And it makes a big difference if the structure of that first point, if it's a human being, if there's authenticity, then you have a creative structure. And whatever you add to that has got a huge advantage. It's like those cornerstones to a foundation. If you don't if you lay them properly, whatever you build on top of that is got so much of a better chance. And as you've said before so beautifully this morning, Sandra, in other words, that's what we do here. We facilitate this for each other. And it saves our lives, I believe.
Yes.
Give and get encouragement from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the courage to carry on, because I found
Mm-hmm.
most of my experiences actually come from the dark. Whenever I shine a light on it, I get new experiences. The most expensive ones, but they're not the most funny ones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This just came out of my pen as I was writing it down. What we do together every day preserves life.
And to remember that even if you're not together, that whatever you do has the potential for more. Whether you like what you do or whether you don't like what you do, there's a potential for learning. And there's a potential for joy and fulfillment and vitality, light and love. And when you're together, you can amplify that. Amplify the experience of connection.
to together is a collection of we, which is individual me's. So, so as to be aware of me and we. And I'm reminded of what we created in this space early on, was what to be aware of as the individual, as the me, as the I. First and foremost is that we are equal, that I'm equal. I'm whole and complete, powerful. We have everything we need in here, inside us. Just the practice to listen to it, to decipher it, to decode. That is what shapes the we. It shapes the me. And that I and you are genius. We have genius. We are genius, our specific genius, our gifts and our greatness to create space for ours and yours. And awareness for the yes and more, please. So that we are equal, we are genius. And yes, and amplifies that cycle, that awareness. So may you find and seek and receive more of that feeling you chose this morning. May it fill in the voids in your life, in our life.
I am complete. Thank you so much, everybody. This was really beautiful.
Have a blessed day.
Have a wonderful day. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jesse and everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, Allison, Chi, Hines, Cindy, Craig, Annette, Mona. Thank you all.
Much love, everyone.
Love and hugs.
Bye.
Peace and love.
Yes. Connection.
Yeah, love and hugs,
Joy.
everyone.
Fulfillment. Vitality. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, have a great day.
full of joy.